How many times can I say I'm sorry? Yeah, indeed. How many times can one say they're sorry? That's the question. Because sometimes we say sorry maybe a little too fast. I've said sorry too many times, definitely, but didn't help. I still came out looking like a jerk. And then you might wonder, was it worth it saying sorry to that person? Well, probably not. But what I'm thinking about now really is you can never make everybody like you, so don't even try. But the big question is when is it all right to say to apologize? When you should not? When should you not apologize? Yeah, I don't know. This is a really hard subject. Yeah, because sometimes people you discover, you may not believe that the person you have had a quarrel with was a bad person, but these things do sometimes expose people for what they are. If a person won't accept your apology, and if it still is trying to make you feel guilty, to make you feel bad, to make you feel like the bad seed, then of course that person was never worth saying sorry to in the first place, of course. Yeah, it is so. That's right, Jack. um, yeah, I had plenty of cases where I would say sorry and that person accepted it, but then just a few days later we were back to the old thing. Every time there is a disagreement, let's say, back to the same old. Yeah, you are like this, you don't do this, you do this, and accusations flying. And I think people are too quick to, first of all, to judge nowadays. I don't know, maybe that was always the case, maybe. And it takes too long wait before they see that they also they are to blame as well, if not exclusively for the quarrel. But yeah, I mean, the saying it takes two to tango. That's exactly how it goes. Usually, one person starts. There's a disagreement, and then one person says, "Oh, you don't really know anything about this," or something like that. I don't like that opinion. I don't respect it. And then the other person gets very angry and goes off on a verbal tirade, and that's how it usually starts. Yeah, what is important is that it's hard to really see the things rationally in a fight, right? In a quarrel. So it takes time before you can cool off and then look at it rationally afterwards. But the problem is too few people do that. That's exactly the problem. Too many people are stubborn and they won't admit they were wrong in the first place. It's like I will say, yeah, I was wrong, but so are you. You are not without fault here. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this quarrel, right? Because too often quarrels happen because both persons are too stubborn, and yeah, both persons won't admit that they are wrong, and or they won't accept the other one's feelings or thoughts or opinions. So they are trying to come out of it as the winner in a way, even though that's absurd because there can't be a winner unless, of course, one person is really wrong and the other one is not. So, but that doesn't happen so often, does it? I mean, it maybe accounts for like 25% of all quarrels or arguments that there's only one person that is wrong. You must remember that quite it's quite seldom that happens, don't think. But some people are really good at convincing you that you are wrong, and not they, not them, you. So don't fall for that. I was too much like that. I let myself be swayed and convinced, and yeah, I always had that problem because I'm a younger brother. I had an older brother that was very dominant, and yeah, he was able sometimes to convince me that I was wrong and all that stuff. And I even felt bad because of it sometimes. But later on, when I thought about it all, what happened, I came out with the conclusion that I wasn't first. In most of those cases, I wasn't the only one wrong for sure, and in some of them, I wasn't wrong at all. It was him. So yeah, but people are kind of mild, mild mannered. I'm not saying I'm very mild mannered. I can, of course, I have a temper. Sometimes I can really explode, but generally, I'm not really a person that is kind of. Well, I'm not a classic alpha for sure, but I'm not saying I'm a beta. I don't really. That doesn't matter. Doesn't. I don't like to divide people like that, but I was a beta, definitely, for a long time. Yeah, I can tell you that for sure. So I'm trying to be an alpha. That's all I can say. So yeah, but yeah, too often I felt guilty and ashamed even sometimes because I don't like to behave like that. I don't like to curse and argue like really vehemently, or however you pronounce that. Sorry. And yes, I just feel bad. I don't feel awkward when that happens to me because I don't. That's not usually the person I am. I don't enjoy it. There are some people I bet that kind of enjoy arguing. I bet I have known such people anyway in my life. But yeah, so when you come, I mean, if you know that person usually doesn't behave like that, but sometimes everybody can have a bad day or something. So yeah, that's when you should apologize if you feel that you shouldn't have taken it so far. Maybe you took it a little too far with your language or something you said was hurtful. You didn't really mean it. Yeah, why not? And but that's the tricky part. Sometimes people don't like to be the first ones to apologize. But if you really value your friendship with this person, whatever it is, your relationship, then of course, in when it comes to romantic stuff or relationship, that's a whole different thing. Of course, I'm not going to go there, but yeah, it's really hard sometimes to say you're sorry, admit you're wrong. It's really one of the hardest things for a human being, really. So, but it's our pride. It won't let us, unless there are people who don't have so much pride, but there are not so many people like that. I think, I think we almost all of us have pride, and pride won't let you do that. I'm like, it tells you, no, you are not wrong. You should not cave. You should not give in and apologize. So let them apologize first, and So that's why pride can be very damaging as well, I feel. And one should not have too much pride, anyway, for sure. Just enough. So, yeah, it is hard to say you're sorry, but sometimes it's worth it, but other times it's not. Because if you see that the same pattern continues, you keep getting into arguments with this person, of course, then don't apologize anymore. And after the first time, no second apology. So that's my advice, right? Right, thanks for listening to this and see you soon. Bye.